Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm doing my May 2019 book haul. I know I said I wanted to cut down on my book buying, but this month I did not do a great job. Mind you, I only bought a few new books, but I did do a book swap and I did discover some really great used bookstores in my area. So I got really good deals on a lot of the books and I had a really fun time doing my book swap. I did a swap with Beth and the books. Beth and I are really close. We had a really fun time doing this book swap and we chat all the time over text and we had so much fun and I absolutely love the books that she gave me. So thank you so much, Beth. She also included a little card as well as a book for my daughter Avery and I just thought that was so sweet. And I felt awful because I did not include a card or a book for her son Liam, so I am the absolute worst. But she did send me 10 books, so I will show you those first because I'm so excited about them. So one of them I think we might do a buddy read for, and this is Something in the Water by Catherine Stedman, and this was part of Reese's book club. Usually her books that she picks are pretty good, and this one is a thriller. And I think it's either about someone who goes on like a boat trip or people on a honeymoon. I kind of want to go in a little bit blind, but it's not too long. But I love this cover. I cannot wait to read this one. The next book she got me is Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage. And this one I believe is about a sociopathic little girl. And it kind of reminds me of The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. And I loved that book. So I'm hoping I love this one as well. And again, I love this cover and I've heard a lot about this one. The next one is by an author I've never heard of before, but it got pretty good ratings on Goodreads. And this is Wild Lake by Laura Lippman, and it is some kind of mystery book. But this cover just totally drew me in. Again, I kind of just want to go in blind, but I think that Beth said she enjoyed this one, so I hope I do too. And the next two are part of a series. It's an older series. I've never read anything from it, and it is the one by Robert Galbraith, which is really J.K. Rowling. There is The Cuckoo's Calling, and then she gave me the second one called The Silkworm, and these are some kind of detective stories. I think there's 3 or 4 in the series. I guess it's called the Cormoran Strike series. But yeah, I think we're also going to try to buddy read these because neither of us have read them. And I always hear such mixed things about them, so I want to check it out for myself. And then she had gotten me one by Jodi Picoult. She got me My Sister's Keeper. I've seen the movie a long time ago, haven't read the book, and I assume this will just make me bawl my eyes out, but I would love to read it. And then she got me The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which I always hear stuff about, but hadn't read it myself. And I like circus stories, so I'm hoping I love this one. The next one is one I have no idea what it's about, and it's called 1000 White Women, The Journals of May Dodd by Jim Fergus. I assume this is some kind of pioneer woman novel. It is pretty chunky. I can't remember if Beth said she's read this one, but it does sound really interesting, and I thought the spine was gorgeous on this as well. And I think it's interesting to read pioneer woman stories. I haven't really read a lot of those, so looking forward to this one. The next one is The Room on Rue Amélie and by Kristen Harmel, and I think this is set in Paris, I'm guessing. But yes, it is set in Paris in 1939, so World War II fiction set in France. So that one sounds right up my alley. I love World War II historical fiction. I'm sure Beth already knows that, so cannot wait for this one, which I know I'm saying that about all of these, but I love getting some stuff that I'd never heard of before, and so exciting. And then the last one she got me is With This Man by Jodi Allen Malpaz. This is the 4th novel in the This Man series, which I haven't read anything out of this series. I don't have the first 3, but I would love to read this series, so when I do get around to it, I can just keep this one and have it for the 4th. I've heard great things about the This Man series, so looking forward to this one. So thank you again to Beth for doing this book swap with me. I had so much fun. I will link Beth's channel down below. She does have a booktube channel and she makes awesome videos, so go show her some love and go check her out. And yeah, I'm just so happy that we became friends and we did this swap. So now on to all the other books that I got this month. I was gifted a book off of Goodreads. One of my Goodreads friends was giving away some of her ARCs. And I got an ARC for The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves, and this one is already out. And I loved this book. It is about a woman in college and she meets a man in chess club and they have a relationship, and you know they break up, and they're reunited 10 years later, so it's a second chance kind of romance, and it kind of takes place in dual timelines. Loved this one, and I just really like Tracy Garvis Gray's writing, and it's really emotional, so if you like emotional books, this one would be for you. So thank you again to my friend on Goodreads who gave me this one. Okay, now on to all the books that I purchased. So when I was at the BX, which is the Base Exchange here on Base, they have a small book section, and I saw this one and I just kind of picked it up after I scanned it on Goodreads. It had really good ratings. It's called The Girl in the Ice by Robert Brinza, and it is a Detective Erica Foster novel, so it's the first in a detective series. No idea what this one is about, but I am assuming it's just a crime novel, and it got really high ratings, so I'm hoping to get to it soon. And then I purchased some books off of Amazon, just a couple, as well as I had a pre-order off of Amazon. So the first one is Eleanor in Grey by Brittany C. Cherry, and this one I purchased just randomly because I read this on Kindle Unlimited before the paperback was even out, and it has been one of my only 5-star reads this year, so I knew I had to have a copy for myself. Usually I don't purchase paperback versions of Kindle Unlimited books that I read, but this one just impacted me so much, and I've mentioned it a lot on my channel, that I knew I wanted a copy for myself. And just this is so beautiful, so I'm really happy that I purchased it. And then another one is Meet Cute by Helena Hunting, and I read The Good Luck Charm, loved it, and so I knew I wanted to pick this one up. I heard it's a little more serious than some of her other novels, but I loved the cover and I just want to give it a go for myself. And then the one that I pre-ordered is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren's writing. They're a great author duo, and I plan on reading this next week during Smutathon, and I'm sure you guys have already heard about it, but it is about these two people who are in the wedding party, and the bride and groom get sick and can't take their honeymoon, and so the two main characters have to go together even though they hate each other, and they have to pretend to be newlyweds. So that just sounds amazing, and it's set in Hawaii, so excited for this one, and I know Beth liked it, so I'm assuming I will too. And then I got 4 books off of Book Depository, which I do like to purchase from them occasionally because their paperbacks are good deals. I have 2 pre-orders from them and then 2 just random purchases. The first is 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty, and this one I've been waiting to purchase because it was really expensive in hardcover here in the US, and I didn't really love that cover. So when this paperback version came out, I knew I wanted it. And I want to read it this summer because it seems like the perfect summer read, and I know it's about 9 people who go to some health retreats, and I'm assuming it has a mystery twist because a lot of her books do, so really excited for this one. Another one I purchased is Do Not Disturb by Claire Douglas. This would be the 4th Claire Douglas I have read, and this one came out last summer, but I kind of just want to read another one of hers so I can make an author spotlight video, and it was a really good deal on Book Depository. Usually she writes domestic suspense or light thrillers, nothing too crazy, but really looking forward to this one as well. And then for the pre-orders, I got Paige Toon's If You Could Go Anywhere, and this is just a lighthearted chick lit, I assume. I really like a lot of her more recent books that have been published, so I really look forward to getting to this one, and I thought this cover was so gorgeous. And then the last pre-order is The Last Time I Saw You by Liv Constantine. I loved her first novel, The Last Mrs. Parrish, and I actually already read this as an ARC before it come out. I had already pre-ordered it, but then I got approved for an ARC, and I didn't love this one like I did The Last Mrs. Parrish, but it's really hard to cancel pre-orders on Book Depository, so I'm just going to keep it for now. I thought it was okay. I think this cover is really nice. It is one of those paperbacks that have the flaps like a dust jacket, and then it has deckled edges, so it's a very beautiful book. It's that velvety texture, but it is good. It's just not as good as Liv Constantine's premiere novel. And then I did pick up quite a few books at Goodwill, and we have this other kind of thrift store around here called Opportunity House, and then we have some library bookstores. So I purchased all of these secondhand. I was picking up stuff for Beth and I's exchange, and I was looking for books for her and just ended up finding things for myself. So I think I have 10, and I got them all for less than $2. Most of them were 50 cents or $1. So the first one is The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. This is one of his I haven't read, but I enjoyed the movie, watched it kind of when it first came out. And when I see his books in good condition that I haven't read, I usually pick them up just because I love him in the summer. His books are really good summer reads. So excited to get to this one, and it was only $1, so not too bad. And then the next one I have is The Girl with the Clock for a Heart by Peter Swanson. I've been having a hard time finding this one used, but this is the only Peter Swanson book I don't have. I have one more to read beside this one. I just want to read all of his novels. And I haven't heard a lot about this book, but I think it came out a couple of years ago, and really happy I found it. It was just kind of a chance find. And then the next one I haven't heard anyone talk about, but it looked kind of good. It has pretty low ratings on Goodreads, but I want to give it a chance, and for 50 cents, it's not really a waste. It's about two women. One is a mother and one is a really established artist, and I think that the mom is pretty jealous of the artist's like fame. And so it's kind of about how far will she go to take that woman's life. So I don't really know, but it sounds creepy, it sounds good, so looking forward to this one. It just looks like the perfect beach read with that kind of pool scene on it. The next two, I'm really excited I found them used. They are the next two in the Crossfire series by Sylvia Day. I have the first three, and I've been looking for the last two used. So I have Captivated by You, and then One with You, and these were both 50 cents or $1. They're not in the best condition, but I think I'm going to donate or give to someone else the whole series just because I don't really want it on my shelves once I'm done, but I'm really happy I found them used. The next one is a historical fiction called Everyone Brave is Forgiven by Chris Cleave, and I don't know what it's about, but I've always seen this pop up everywhere, and it's a nice pretty book. It has deckled edges, and it is London in 1939, so another World War II. You know, I love those, so I don't really want to know much else. I want to go into it blind. The next is another historical fiction, and it's The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Everyone has talked about this book. I'm one of the only people who hasn't read it, and it's a YA historical fiction set in World War II. I can't remember if I've seen the movie, but it was a really good deal. I think it was 50 cents, so I'm going to give it a try. The next one is by Lisa Gardner. It's called Touch and Go, and I think it's part of one of her series. I did not get it for this price. I got it for like $1 or something. Found it at my local Goodwill, and I really love Lisa Gardner. I know this is just part of one of her series, so I'll probably hold on to it. And I don't know if I'll read it in the series or just read it as a standalone, because her novels can be read as standalones. But if you haven't checked out Lisa Gardner, she writes great crime thrillers. Okay, two more. The second to the last is The Murder House by James Patterson and David Ellis. So James Patterson does a lot of combo writing with other authors, and this was, I heard, one of his better ones. When I looked it up on Goodreads, a lot of my friends rated it positively. I think it's a haunted house, or there's secrets buried at this house. I don't know, but it sounded really good, and I do like James Patterson. I know some people don't, but I enjoy his books. And then the last one I was so excited to find, and that is The Perfect Girl by Julie McMillan. I've read I Know You Know, or I Know Who You Are. I forget the title, but it is one of her other books, and it had kind of a podcast element, and I thought that was a really cool book. I read it from my library. So when I saw this one for, it was not $9.99, it was like $1.99. So excited. I've heard mixed things about this, so I'm glad I didn't buy it new. So can't wait to get to this one. I know it is some kind of thriller. So those are all the books that I had purchased in May. I know it's a lot, but I did get a lot of them used and for less than $1 each, so I don't feel too guilty. I only have a few pre-orders from this month. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.